And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at an expansion for a game that just came out, which I really enjoyed, called Wildlands. Wildlands is a great, light, tactical, multiplayer skirmish style game, and there is one extra faction for it called the Unquiet Dead. I kind of like dead people, I guess, when they're a little bit quieter. This is skeletons! Yay! For some reason, it's one of my favorite factions in any game, so I'm always pleased about that. It's a 5th faction, so there's 4 factions in the original game. This one, though, is extremely different from the other ones, and you can play it not as a faction. Let me show you. So first, I want to talk a little bit about the only thing about this set that annoys me, and that's just kind of storage situation. So you get this nice little, plastic case that holds everything, but I want to put them in the base set. But the base set has such a nice setup, and this group has 6 figures, so it comes with an extra blue base. But I already have the bases on the figures in here. I don't necessarily want to change them, so I'm gonna have to take them off here. This is all minor, right? But that's the only thing about this that kind of annoys me. Other than that, you have a completely new faction here. So we have the undead. And the big thing here, there's 2 main things to notice about the undead. And one is that there are 6 of them instead of 5. But secondly, they also have only 2 different symbols on them. You can see here an undead and a skull, which is going to make their card selection very different. So look at the cards here. You can see there's 14 cards that have to do with one, 13 that have to do with another, and then some cards that have to do with nothing. So it's a very different card selection that you have here. And you'll also notice they don't have many of those interrupt cards. There's a few of them, but they're different. There's no draw 2s on them. There's some interrupt cards and other things. So their card selection and the way their cards play is a very different thing. So now, because of the wild cards being spread throughout and these other different kinds of symbols on here, this means you can play any symbol for 3 different characters, which gives you a lot of options. Because it's easier for you to collect gems in that way, then you have to play 4 cards to collect a gem rather than 3. So that's basically the difference between this faction. Now, another thing you can do is you can play They Won't Stay Down. You can play this with any game of Wildlands, and you can't use these guys as a faction. So basically, when someone is knocked out, you take them out, and you just put an undead character on the board instead. Anybody can move or use flag actions with this person as if they controlled them, and you can kind of attack them, and they're basically neutral units that will move around the board. And that's basically what's in this little expansion. So there you go. This to me is an automatic. If you get Wildlands, get this. For the 2 reasons that's in there. One, it's a 5th faction. Yay! And secondly, very importantly, I really like playing this as you knock someone down, an undead gets up and anyone can control that. Keeps the game flowing really fast. It's just a fun thematic thing to play. And even though I said, complaints here, everything in here is in this box. There's one little container in here I was able to fit everything in. So not the end of the world. Was able to squish everything in here without getting rid of the insert. Like Wildlands a lot. Can't wait to play it again. Really like this expansion. Great faction. If you get Wildlands, get the Unquiet Dead. Especially if you're like me and like skeletons. Well, most skeletons, not you. Dice Tower Judgment. Excellent!